James McAnesby here, founder of New Ireland TV. It is Monday the 3rd of May 2021. Hopefully you can hear me through the mask. I'm in Belfast on my way to Bangor for the first of the series of interviews with a lot of people from the TV station that you'll see over the course of the next however long. I'm on the train here. As you know, we have a lot of we're still very annoyed in Tyrone that we don't have any trains. But if you look around you, look how luxurious this is. We've got luxurious. It's comfortable. It's relaxing. It's if I wanted to, I can get work done, as I'm doing right now. You got a nice view out the window, but you don't get any of this.
Titanic Quarter. Please alight here for the SSE Arena and Titanic Belfast.
You don't get any of this when you're driving in cars. So if you're driving, which we are compelled to do down in Tyrone because the public transport isn't anywhere near as good as it is up here. Every time you sit in your car, it's dead time. You can't write, so you can't do any work. You can't really make phone calls. You can, but you're taking unnecessary risks. Whereas if you're on the train, you'd be able to conduct much more. You'd be able to conduct much more productive time, because you have the time on the table and you can read books or watch your movies, whatever, and it feels less like dead time when you're travelling on a train. This is a diesel powered train.
This train is for Bangor. The next station is Sydenham.
And so all these trains are diesel powered, which obviously isn't as environmentally friendly as the more modern trains you might get in England or in Europe, or especially in Asia and that sort of thing. But it is an option that we don't have, and it's I do just want to acknowledge that. But stay tuned to New Ireland TV, a new TV station for a New Ireland. Now that the lockdown is opening up a wee bit, we'll start travelling around the country a bit more. Hopefully we'll stop getting the wintry weather. It's hard to believe it is actually May now, but it feels like about -2. Well, it feels about 2 degrees, and there's sleet this morning. But we've got a whole adventure ahead of us now. Hopefully people are on board. The train is trucking on, and we'll hopefully get to our destination, or get towards our destination in the near future.
The next stop is Hollywood.
So Hollywood, for those who don't know, is Hollywood outside Belfast in County Down. It's a very well-to-do town. It's where Rory McIlroy's from. It's where Jamie Dornan is from. It's where, what else happens in Hollywood? Might do a dispatch from Hollywood at some point. And Hollywood is right on the coast, and this is your morning view every day. Across there is Carrickford. Well, no, that's actually North Belfast that you can see across there, if you can actually make it out. Along that direction is Carrickfergus. You probably can't see it in the camera, but it is just about visible in the naked eye. That's where all our shipping ports coming in. Those ships both look empty, so I don't know why they're going. Actually, they might be gas ships bringing gas in. But I used to work where I had a view of this shipping lane, and at its peak, you'd be getting maybe 10 or 12 ships an hour coming through there. Ships of different sizes, cruise ships and just little fishing boats and stuff. So we're just pulling on the platform at Marino. There's not really much to comment on here because the station and the line is sort of buried in behind the town. Probably is a very nice town though, but I don't actually know anything about it. So wind bushes though. Champion.
The next stop is Control.
And as you can tell, the stops are actually quite close together on this line. The train barely really moves for about five minutes or so before it's got another stop. But obviously at rush hour, they do have a train that skips past, I think, half of these stops, just so that people on the end of the line can take a different line, and then people who are obviously closer can get the shorter train. But there you go, that was the entire distance. That was less than a minute and a half, sorry, between stops. So as you can see, they're very well served for trains down here. I'll pause this now, and this is where you can go to the Ulster Folk and Transport Museum, which we'll probably have to do at some point in the New Ireland TV station in the future.
This train is for Bangor. The next station is Seahill.
So as I said, this line is sort of dug into the ground, and obviously the ground was then developed just to allow greenery to take over. There is another line on the way up to Larne, where you go through Whitehead and that sort of thing. It's much more interesting visually in that you actually go through the centre of a disused, I think it's a cement factory. So the train actually just travels directly through it. Again, it's a project that I would like to maybe find a bit more out about that, particularly industrialist building. Also, you go through some wetlands up around Larne, so there's excellent bird watching opportunities. So for all the bird watchers up there, it's a very nice train journey. When you get up to Larne, there's a stop for Larne Town, and then there's another stop for Larne Harbour, where you can get the train over to, the ferry over to Stranraer. So as I said, there's, for somebody who is travelling, it's very easy. Just pick up your suitcases, make sure you're on time for the train, and then a lot of the work is done for you because you're ferried. Let's use the point of phrase, you're ferried to your destinations quite handily, whereas we have to get the bus. Now there was buses every 90 minutes from Bangor to Belfast today, even though it is a bank holiday, so that is actually quite good service, and it's going right till 8 p.m. But when I was in England, there's a town I lived in called Farnham, which is about 40 miles south of London, and 40 miles south of London, and there's trains every half hour.
The next stop is Seahill.
It was about a 1 hour journey. There's trains every half hour, starting from 6 a.m. and finishing at 12:30, 30 minutes past midnight. So there'd be 6 hours where the train wasn't available, but you could go out for a proper night out in London and still get the last train and end up at Farnham and be at home. The only danger was if you fell asleep on the train and you went past your stop. This is Seahill again. It's 2 minutes between stops. So they do have quite a lot of service here. A bit more picturesque. You can see more houses, but it doesn't seem like an overly built up area. So you'd wonder what the necessity for a train every half hour would be. At Helens Bay, that's where the beach, a lot of people go to the beach on this way. You ever been to Helens Bay? Yeah. I have. When you come off the train station at Helens Bay, you're looking for signs to the beach, and there are none. There are lots of signs telling you not to drink them. In fact, if you follow the signs telling you you're forbidden from drinking, you'll find the beach. And, hopefully get a bit more view on this leg of the journey. It looks like a school, I think, just behind those houses. Integrated school, yeah, very good. We're all in favour of those, integrated education. We might get in touch with Sean McBride, who's on the board of Homa Integrated, but we'll see about that. Okay, it's actually a bit more built up than I realised. So there's actually quite a lot of quite spacious, residential properties here. But if you live there and you're 10-minute, not even a 10-minute walk, 90-second walk from the train station, you can pile out of the bed, 5 minutes before your train's due, and just power walk it up to the station. Easy. Back to the wind bushes. And as you see, still see the coast there. On the other side, it's more inland. Don't actually know but they'll be very rocky properties up there as well.
The next stop is Helens Bay.
And I'll leave it at Helens Bay because I'm aware of how much memory I've got on my phone. But just to give you an idea, so that was 2 stops we went through in 5 minutes there. So their amenities up here are so much more useful and amenable, if you will. Look at this wee structure here. This is the old train station. Not pretty. Helens Bay, there you go.